Hello and welcome. My name is Jordan, and I am here today to say that you are love worthy. Now, today we're talking about a very famous couple in the Bible, and that is Ruth and Naomi. Now, this is actually going to be found in the Old Testament and the book of Ruth. It is very short, only 4 chapters long. Now, the reason why we're talking about this couple today is because many biblical scholars believe that Ruth and Naomi were a lesbian couple. Now, I'll be going over all the reasons as to why they say that, and when we look at it in this new light, I'd say yes, they were definitely involved emotionally, romantically, etc. Now, just to get some backstory about this, Naomi is the mother in law, and Ruth is the daughter in law. Naomi does have other daughter in laws, however, that's not going to be the focus here. Unfortunately, all the husbands of the daughter in laws, as well as Naomi, they've all died in one way or another. Now, in biblical culture, if a husband dies, then the wife is passed on to the next person in line, generally the brother, and so on and so forth. And this was to make sure that the lineage of the family would continue on. So at this point, they're out of relatives. Naomi is telling her daughter-in-laws, go home, go back to where someone can help you, where someone can provide for you. And this was actually very important, and it was why Paul talked about it so much in the New Testament, that the church had to care for widows. Because in that society, the man is the one who owned property. The man is the one who provided monetarily. If a woman was on her own, she depended a lot on the help of other people and the church to provide for her. So that is why Naomi is sending everybody away. So in Ruth chapter 1, verses 14, we have that scenario. And it reads, "Then they wept aloud again. Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her." So we have Orpah, not to be confused with Oprah. Sorry for my cheesy joke. Kissing her mother-in-law goodbye. Now, just to clarify here, it is normal in the Bible for people to kiss each other when greeting or when leaving. So I'm not saying that anything went on between Orpah and Naomi. However, we have Ruth. It says that Ruth, quote, clung to her. So the word clung is from the Hebrew word davak. And the Hebrew word davak can be defined as stick to, adhere to, cling to, join with, or stay in close proximity to. So there are several passages in the Bible where they use the word davak. In some instances, it's actually even used to say that someone is romantically involved or to be with someone. And one verse, for example, it is Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, and it reads, "Therefore a man leaves his father and his mother and clings, or davak, to his wife, and they become one flesh." So here we have Ruth, davak, clinging to Naomi in a way that very potentially could be romantically involved. Again, the word doesn't have to mean in that sense, but as we continue on, you'll see how this is more and more prevalent. So after we see all the daughters-in-laws have left except for Ruth, Ruth is telling Naomi, no matter what, I am going to stay with you. And this is what she tells Naomi. But Ruth said, in Ruth chapter 1, verse 16 through 17. But Ruth said, "Do not press me to leave you or to turn back from following you, though. From following you. Where you go, I will go. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die. There will I be buried. May the Lord do thus and so to me, and more as well, if even death parts me from you." So we have, this is powerful, folks. This is a devotion from Ruth to Naomi saying, no matter what, I'm going to be there with you. I don't even want to be separated with death. Okay? And another thing that is very, very important here is, again, to understand the culture. So she says, your God will be my God. Now, in biblical culture, if a man marries a woman, she takes over the religion of the husband. Now, Ruth was actually born pagan. So when she declares to Naomi, your God is the same as my God, she is saying, we are one. We are going to have the same belief. That, again, that culture of I'm going to be following you no matter what, and we're going to be involved. So then later on, we have this declaration of love with each other, and we have where they have settled down at this point. And Naomi goes to Ruth and tells Ruth, you need to be married to Boaz. Now, Boaz is a man who is actually a relative, so again, biblical culture, and the norm at the time of you need to marry him so that you can get your property, so that you can have financial things, so that you can have food, so that you're taken care of. So that's what we have in Ruth chapter 3, verse 1. And it says, Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, my daughter, I need to seek some security for you so that it may be well with you. So she is saying that she is concerned for Ruth. She knows that Naomi is older than Ruth. So what is Ruth going to do after she dies? She wants to make sure she is set up for success in this culture. So we go to Ruth chapter 3, verse 5, and it says, I will do whatever you say, Ruth answered. So Ruth ends up doing what her mother-in-law Naomi says, and she goes to Boaz and she wins his favor. He ends up marrying Ruth. And we have something very interesting that happens at the end of chapter 4. And it's chapter 4, verses 13 through 17. And it's rather long, but I'm going to read it for you. And it says, so Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. When he made love to her, the Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. So the woman said to Naomi, praise be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a guardian redeemer. May he become famous throughout Israel. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you, and who is better to you than 7 sons, has given him birth. So then Naomi took the child in her arms and cared for him. The woman living there said, Naomi has a son, and they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. Okay, guys, so I don't know if you get the magnitude of this verse. Ruth marries Boaz because, again, of the culture. She has a son. Immediately, they take the son to Naomi, and they tell Naomi, by the way, Naomi, Ruth loves you. And then they tell, I love this, sorry. They tell Naomi, this is your son, as if they really were a couple and it is acknowledged. So they're not saying this is Ruth and Boaz's son. They're saying, Naomi, you have a son. How powerful is that? So that is what we have there for the book of Ruth. It's not very long. It's only 4 chapters long, but it just shows the lineage and the importance, and it just shows the unremarkable love that these two women have for each other. If you guys have any questions about this video or need resources, feel free to give me a shout out, or feel free to go to my Facebook page. It is at Loveworthy LGBT, all one word. We also have an Instagram where you could reach out. Other than that, folks, I hope you learned something today, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And remember that you are all loveworthy. Bye.